Hello everyone, welcome back to From the Deck, and today we're going to talk about one of my favorite archetypes that came into this alliance. That's right, we come from another SATELLARKNIGHT deck profile. Today we're going to talk about Satellar Knights and how can you play them with a new combo that we had to modify after the ban list, because this combo used to make Anaconda, but now you cannot make Anaconda anymore. So we have to talk about some different things that you have to do with this list. Now, what are Satellar Knights? Satellar Knights are a deck that comprises of level 4 monsters that are used to make rank 4 monsters. Let me show you what are Satellar Knights. If you haven't seen my previous video on it, you can check it if you want to know a little bit more about the archetype and what it does on a pure Xyz rant. So, first of all the Satellar Knight main deck monsters. We are playing 3 copies of Deneb, 3 copies of Unukalahai, 3 copies of Altair. These are the most important ones. Then we also have 3 copies of Vega, of course, 1 copy of Alsam, 1 copy of Procyon or whatever, and 1 copy of Sirius. Deneb can search a Satellar Knight on summon. It can be normal summon, special summon, and because it's an if effect, it doesn't miss timing. Unukalahai can foolish a Satellar Knight monster. Altair special summons 1 from the graveyard. Vega special summons 1 from the hand. Alsam burns 1000 damage. Procyon discards a Satellar Knight to draw 1 card. And Sirius returns 5 Satellar Knights to the deck and draws 1 card. So we have recursion, we have special summon, and we have different loops like Dante's Ear in the case of Altair and Deneb. So very good main deck monsters, not very powerful, but they get the job done. That's the idea. But all of these main deck monsters die to a single Ash Blossom or a single effect Veiler or Impermanence. Very popular things in modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Right now. So how do we play against that? Well, you usually want to play 3, I only have 2 copies, but you can play Satellar Knight Skybridge. Satellar Knight Skybridge is our only spell that we like to play, and it's a way to get around things that target or that would destroy the Satellar Knight monster from the field. So if you get Ogred, for example, or you get Veiler or Imperm, you can dodge those things by activating this. Downside, you cannot special summon other things that are not Satellar Knight from the extra deck, I think. But because you have pretty much access to anything at that point, you're completely fine. We are playing 3 copies of Stellar Nova Alpha. Stellar Nova Alpha is a counter trap that says when your opponent does anything, you can tribute 1 Satellar Knight, negate the effect, and if you destroy it, draw 1 card. So very cool, very effective. Because most of the big Satellar Knight have effects when sent to the graveyard, you actually plus of these things, so very powerful. And even if you open a little small one and nothing else, it's still a very good disruption. So yeah, you maxed out on that thing. For hand traps, I'm playing the cheap ones, Lancia, Ghost Bells, and Ghost Ogres. You can play Ash instead of Lancia. I'm playing 2 of each. You can play with your ratios. I would like only these ratios because you want to see Satellar Knight cards, but you can play anything you want. For our generic spells, only 2. Monster Reborn and Rota. Of course, Rota very powerful. And Monster Reborn just because you want ways to get Satellar Knights from the graveyard to the field. So for traps, we're playing triple Call of the Haunted. Yes, it seems like a very lackluster card, but when we get to the extra deck, you will understand why. Because we're only playing 2 spells, we can play Anti-Spell Fragrance on main, 3 copies of it of course, and triple Strike, triple Judgment. For the extra, and this is the important part, we're running basically every single Satellar Knight that is not banned. That's basically Ptolemaios. So we're starting with Constellar Diamond. Constellar Diamond basically is a counter, if you want to call it like that, against Branded Fusion, at least from the deck, because your opponent cannot send cards from the deck, basically, and you can negate the effect of a dark monster. So if you open this and you make this against a branded player, they can brand the fusion, but they have to hard draw Albaz and another card. So very cool, very powerful thing. Then 2 copies of Delteros. Delteros can pop 1 card on the field by detaching 1 material, and when sent from the field to the graveyard, you can special summon 1 Tellar from the deck. Triber is the reason why we're playing Call of the Haunted, because it's free Monster Reborn. Triber on summon returns all cards, all other cards on the field back to the hand. So you can recycle your anti-spell fragrances, you can recycle the Call of the Haunted, and when sent from the field to the graveyard, while it has a material, you can special summon one Satellar from the graveyard. Very powerful indeed. To make this, because this requires 3 level 4s and this requires 3 or more level 5 if I'm correct, you can shortcut by using Batlimus. This team makes everything dark on the field, so this combos will be considered diamond. And also, you can detach one, discard one, special summon one Tellar extra deck monster on top of it. You can also play generic stuff like Tornado Dragon, Abyss Dweller, and one Zeus. You could play more Zeus, but honestly you can get away with just playing the one Zeus because Triber just resets the game state, so you can recycle the Zeus if you have gone for a long grindy game, so that is perfectly fine. And that is all of our Xyz indeed. The last time I covered this deck, it didn't have any links, it was just full Xyz power. But on SATELLARKNIGHT Duelist they discovered a way to abuse the power of Deltaros. Because Deltaros is not once per turn, you can play Gravity Controller, link it off, get a body for free, usually Altair. You can revive Deltaros from the graveyard, and you can then make IP Masquerade. You used to make Birthday, but now Birthday is banned, so you cannot make that. And you can do that again, and you bring back Sirius, and Sirius recycles. So, and because you're playing Masquerade, you just play Unicorn Access Code, because of course. So yeah, this is our extra deck. And for our side deck, because we are running a lot of going first cards with a couple of cantrips, you want to run a lot of going second cards. To Lava Golem, because you're playing a lot of going first cards, you are perfectly fine with tributing and passing the turn, no normal summoning anything. 2 Kadarla and 1 game kill, because removing cards from the field is very hard on this deck, so you usually want to play things that make you that easy. And of course we're playing other hand traps, triple Effect Veiler, it can be infinite permanence if you want, but Effect Veiler is perfectly fine. The third of Ghost Ogre, I think this one is a very powerful card to not be played. 1 Token Collector, because Sword Soul is very powerful, you can play more but 1 is fine. HFD, Change of Card, and Call by the Grave are also very powerful cards that you can consider running, going second, or in case of Call by the Grave, on going first. And finally 2 Evenly Match, again to get rid of different stuff on the field. So yeah, this is basically what I'm running with this SATELLARKNIGHT version of this deck. And let me show you a basic combo where you make the end board with just a couple of cards. You don't really need anything more, so that's a very powerful combo. Alright, so let's say you have opened Deneb, Unokalahai, Skybridge, and 2 unknown cards. That's your opening hand, for example. You want to start with Unokalahai because it's a very good Dash Blossom target, and in the case it resolves, you send another Deneb. Deneb is always good to have in the graveyard, so you always send that. If you want to change to the effect to avoid anything, or if you want to do it after, it is fine. You go for Skybridge, return Unokalahai to the deck, and go for a little guy called Vega. Now you are locked into SATELLARKNIGHTs, but you are perfectly fine with that because now you're going to special summon Deneb from the hand thanks to Vega's effect, and Deneb is going to get you 1 copy of Altair. Altair will give you play next turn, obviously. Now you overlay these two for your SATELLARKNIGHT Batlimus, and Batlimus effect. You detach Deneb. Again, Deneb is always important, and you pitch one to make what's called Deltaros in the extra monster zone. Now that you have Deltaros in the extra monster zone, you link it away, you make a controller, and Deltaros activates here, and you get a body from the deck. In that case, you get Altair once again, you special summon it from the deck to the field, and Altair effect will bring back Deltaros in defense. It always brings in defense, it's very important to remember that. Then, on this case, you used to make Birthday, because of course you make Birthday on this deck, but right now you just want to make IP Masquerena. Now that you have IP Masquerena, you once again Deltaros effect, but now you get the one Sirius. And because Sirius was special summon, you can recycle your Deltaros, your Altair, your SATELLARKNIGHT, and your Vegeta. Is that 5? Is that 4? Oh, that's 4. So you recycle one of the denims. It doesn't really matter, you only need one, to be honest. You shuffle back them into the decks, main and extra, and you get to draw one card. It can be anything really. So you have opened with Unicorn, which is not very powerful, but is basically what Burning Abyss does. And because you have Sirius, if you have Stellar Nova, you can just set that with, for example, Solemn Judgment that you drew from the effect, and you have Altair in hand for next turn with 2 set cards, Sirius on field, and Masquerena Controller. So when your opponent plays, you basically first Stellar Nova, trying to get a card from the field so you can destroy it. You get to draw anything really, and then you can just Masquerena link away the Controller. Because Controller, you can use it after the turn's link summon, so you basically just make Unicorn and Unicorn spin, in this case with Lancia if you want. If you don't want, that's perfectly fine. And you still have your Judgment and you still have your Altair. That is going to be the video for today, guys. Thank you very much for watching it today. Let me know in the comments if you want me to cover a couple of matches between this and Burning Abyss, so you can see the difference between one and the other. Both are Duelist and Alliance archetypes and they're really cool. So if you want to see something like that, let me know, or let me know what you want to see in the comments, and we'll see on the next one. See ya.